Welcome to lesson number 5 with Emotional Science with VP Culture. This lesson is about tight focus on personal emotional state. So you're going to be looking at your personal emotional state to identify it. Now that we've talked about the energy and the thoughts, we're going to combine those together and identify our emotional state. So, name it to tame it is a saying in the psychological realm. What is he feeling? You can look at someone's emotional state and can you name what he's thinking right now? Can you name how he's feeling? So that's what we're going to try to work on today. We're going to try to work on coming up with an exact English word for what we call it. So there's thousands of English words that describe emotions, from shame to anger to disappointment to disillusionment to surprise to shock to awe to wonder. Those are all feelings that we could list, and there's thousands of other words. Using all these words accurately and well, it's going to help you in the emotional science and become emotionally intelligent. So name it to tame it is the goal here, and we're going to dive a little bit deeper into this. So looking at our chart here where we've identified the physical state, we've identified the thoughts, whether they're positive and negative in the situation. And this chart here shows the multitude of emotions that you could have within this realm. You could feel apathetic, sad, lonely. So this is a chart from an app that you can actually use that can help you identify your emotions, from uneasy, worried, concerned, troubled. So these are all different words that you could use, hundreds of words. And you can see towards the center, they're a little bit more tame. And then when you get out to the edges of the chart, you start to get more aggressive emotions and more emphatic emotions that are felt a little bit more powerfully, versus pleasant to ecstatic kind of thing. So these are all different ways of seeing how this charting works as it gets more pleasant or less pleasant, more despairing versus just plain old, I don't really care, apathetic. So being able to do this, chart where you're at on our big chart of emotions. So once we've named the emotion, we also have to do the second step, which is accepting the emotion. So first step is name it to tame it, and the second step is accepting it. Both of these have a calming effect on the emotional state. So let's look at accepting and non-judgmental. So you're just going to look at the state and go, this is what's happening. Just a mere statement of fact, and accept it as a, isn't that curious? That's the observer, VLPLC, is able to do that and just have a beat on it, not be melded with it and not be able to see it and be actually anxious that you're feeling that emotion. That's that ruminative cycle that we're talking about. So instead of being accepting, which kind of lets the emotion be out here, when you're up here and afraid of your own emotions, that's a kind of a terrifying, non-productive state to be in when you're in this state here where you're rejecting and judgmental. It's very similar to what we discussed last time when you're trying to push those thoughts away. So rejecting and judgmental state is not going to be helpful towards your emotional state. Not a healthy way to go through life, sort of opposing your own self. So it's best to have an accepting, non-judgmental approach. These are both ACT tools that we've talked about before. So in accepting non-judgment, here's some of the benefits of that, where you've got calming hormones, you've got serotonin, you've got vitality, energy, and health. These are all results from just taking an accepting, non-judgmental approach towards your emotional self. So very important to do that. And these are the benefits of doing that.